Oh, this Boston crowd was loud and proud and with it, weren't they? I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite from, yes, Boston, Massachusetts. Northeast, my goodness, such a rich history of wrestling, and goodness me, this Boston crowd was certainly electric. And also, I do want to say that I was furnished a way to watch the Briscoes versus FTR Supercard of Honor match, so I will include that at the end of this review if you'd like to hear what I have to say. But let me know what you have to say about this show in the comments, please. And my first note, boy, this crowd was up and they were ready. And I gotta say, there really is nothing like a Northeast wrestling crowd. I mean, of course, there's Chicago, there are some places in Texas, there are some crowds in Seattle, sometimes, maybe, kinda, sorta. I don't think we're ever gonna get big wrestling shows again. We'll just have to rely on the indie shows, but support your local independent wrestling. So, it's all about that boom. It's Adam Cole, baby, against Christian Cage, who I know is 48, but probably should consider hanging it up soon. Alright, it wasn't bad. The crowd was pretty split, and again, the crowd was really energetic throughout the whole show. There are Wardlow posters all blown up, and they're all over the place and everything. You can't let this guy in, so we know what the fuck's gonna happen. Cole stupidly decides to run around the ring for absolutely no goddamn reason. He's like, oh, I'm gonna evade him, and then, realizing, oh, this big Canadian man just hit me. Ow. Look, Cole is a good wrestler and can be a very good heel, and he can even be a pretty good, snarky baby face, but the bloom's kind of off the rose with me, cheering for Cole or rooting for Cole. It's like, it's kind of the same as it ever was, There was some good, wrestling in this, as you would expect with these two guys. Cole's a pretty good veteran. Christian obviously has worlds more experience, even with being off for like 7 years from like 2014 to 2021. And there was a good flow to it. There was some, the big moves as you would expect. Christian fires back after Cole almost gets a 3 count on the front. This is my boom kick. And then he gets a spear. He gets a couple other moves, but then gets poked in the eye. And then it's all about the boom kick because he lowered the knee pad. So that means it's even more effective. And he gets a victory. And there you go. And then Rim of the Dragon, as I'm going to be calling him, thanks to a particular friend of mine for making it so I can't unsee that. O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, who was around, when Paul Revere was saying the British are coming. When he was in school, they didn't have history. His social security number is 1. And Cage and Luchasaurus fight him on and everything. Oh, they're going to do this. They're going to do the thing. They're going to do a tag title match next week. And then here's Hangman, and Cole's yelling at him like, don't you come down here, I'm not going to talk to you until you give me a title shot. And this is the most fired up I've seen Paige in a while. This was him serious. This is the kind of Hangman Adam Page we need to fucking see. Cole's kind of blowing him up. He's like, look at me when I'm talking to you. Like, okay, all right, there we go. You treat him more like that, I would buy into him as a world champion more. And I like Paige. Do not get me wrong. I think he's very good in the ring. I think he's done the best he can, considering the off and on good, bad build towards him being champion. He's had good matches. I just fear that this title reign will be seen as a bit of a flop. But that being said, he was like, look at me when I'm talking to you. That's the line that's going to stick in my head. And there's a live Rampage next week in Texas because they're going to have Battle of the Belts too, Electric Boogaloo. And how about we have a Texas Death Match? Again. Didn't he just have one against Lance Archer just about a month ago? It's like, that's the only match he can have. I understand that cowboy shit, but still. Texas Death Match, make it less bullshit than some of the other ones have been, and I'm all for it. Of course, if I were you, I'd get my affairs in order. That was a parting line. Goodness me, that's a wordy way of basically just saying, get your shit together, you idiot. Out. So then we go to clips of Lethal turning heel, and along with Sanjay Dutt at Supercard of Honor. And now Samoa Joe showed up and choked out Sanjay Dutt. So it's like TNA 2005 never died. And Samoa Joe comes out to a huge pop. I think that Samoa Joe in AEW and ROH for the short term will be fine. What do I mean by short term? Year and a half. Because Joe is above 40 and has had a lot of injuries. But the thing is, with the WWE schedule, even with them taking care of people better and making sure they have the time off if needed, it's still a rigorous schedule, especially for somebody who wrestles a hard style like Samoa Joe. It's not a knock on WWE. It's not a knock on Joe. I think that this is going to be a short window, though. Caster says, you're not a tough guy. You're just injury prone. And it's like, and then, when we battled in the ratings, he was their champ or beat them in the ratings. He was their champ. He got us some good lines here. I encourage you to check out the stuff with Caster. I'm not doing it justice because I can't rap at all because I'm white and unable to have any vocal talent. But then Samoa Joe took on Max Caster in an Owen Hart qualifier match. Here's my question. Are there going to be 8 people in each tournament? Because we're doing all these qualifiers. And why didn't you just do a 16-person tournament and just build up on it from there? Oh, well, whatever. He basically just gloms him. We get Joe's going to kill you. He dives on Caster, does that freaking, suicide dive. Insane that he does that. Muscle Buster, breaks it out. 1, 2, 3. And there you go. And then Lethal and Sanjay Dutt show up on the screen. You never return my phone calls, Jay Lethal says. Don't think Jay Lethal should really be talking about things that, he shouldn't have done. Hey, Jay. Maybe, you probably should address those things, those, allegations that you, that were levied against you. Maybe you should actually probably try to, take it a little bit easy until that shit blows over. Assuming that shit does blow over. Assuming that you didn't do that shit. I hope he didn't. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Jay Lethal also has seemingly been one of the most uninteresting signings that they've had. And Lethal's a very good wrestler. He just doesn't have a very good personality. I saw him at the New Japan Strong tapings, and guess what? I didn't care. It was him versus Jay White, and in traditional smart Washingtonian crowd, action, we decided to chant, "Let's go Jay, let's go Jay." Because we are intelligent individuals here. But he basically says, hey, next week I'm going to give you a present that you'll never forget. So Lethal versus Joe. Okay. Whatever. I think it'll be a good match with Sanjay. And Sanjay Dutt, has Sanjay Dutt even wrestled lately? I know he's been a producer, I believe, for WWE. And I believe he's going to be a producer or agent or something like that for AEW, Ring of Honor, whatever it is. I don't mind them doing the cross appeal, but my question is, what are they going to do with Ring of Honor as far as a weekly TV program? Are they just going to tape like 4 shows in one setting and then just cobble that shit together? Are they just going to do block tapings? Because unlimited capita or not, they're going to be stretching people too goddamn thin. It's going to be like Crockett in the 80s with the UWF in Kansas City, with Florida. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Let's pick things up. So Shivani is interviewing the Blackpool Combat Club. Regal says some stuff. Danielson says some stuff. And then Moxley says the sounds are going to be like the bones are going to crack like thunder and raining blood. Why does everything have to go back to blood with this guy? What is going on with him? MJF shows up for commentary for Captain Shawn Dean versus Shawn Spears. The interesting Shawn versus Shawn Spears. Wardlow chants. Spears basically wipes his feet on the Wardlow poster, and Dean gets in a couple shots, but Spears basically takes over, because Dean did get that fluke victory over MJF, but, during the Punk feud, but at least, Dean's a really good athlete, but they treated him like he should have been with how he's been presented. And then suddenly, we found out something going on in the back. Send the camera back there, and Scaredy's laid out, and here's Wardlow, and he's pissed, and he lays out everybody, and he's getting his way to the ring, and 3 security guards manage to barely hold him back, and Spears is distracted by this, and the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling, a surprise roll-up, 1, 2, 3. And Captain Shawn Dean gets the victory. Hooray! Spears is pissed as well. I'd be pissed too if I didn't have a personality like Shawn Spears. And there you go. That's pretty much it. And Wardlow was smiling more. See, this is the way you present it. Now, when he gets his hands on MJF, I almost think that he has to beat him. Now, you could do a Halloween Havoc 98 thing where he just beats the shit out of MJF and then leaves. And MJF wins by countout. And then you could push that there. But like, he made his point. But that was a totally different storyline. That was Nash beating the shit out of Hall, who has personal issues. And then Shivani interviews the best friends. I don't care. Trent's upset at Wheeler. Wheeler's upset at Trent. And I'm upset that this is something that is existing on a mainstream television program. Nothing even against the talents. So Sammy and Ty did the flashcard thing. They are easily, next to Carmella and Corey, are the most insufferable couple that there is on a wrestling broadcast. And I get that that's the point, but I would have been willing to just say, yeah, whatever, they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. You put this stuff out there, then guess what? People are going to make fun of you. But it is what it is. Earlier tonight, Eddie, Santana, and Ortiz glommed the Jericho Ass Society. It's just, goddamn, it might as well just be JES, the Jericho Ego Society. But just, I know it's appreciation. I don't know what we're appreciating, since, yes, Chris Jericho got in better shape, but whatever. Eddie tosses the backstage TV, so apparently they don't have more than one backstage TV. And they had Hager driving, and they got him away. Uh-oh, Hager's driving. If he's as bland of a driver as he is a wrestler, they're fucked. He'll just maintain the speed limit, and they'll never get away on time. So, Eddie, Santana, and Ortiz show up in the arena. Huge pop for Eddie, and he talks about everything being on site. Hey, if you're with your wife and kids, then it's going to be on site. Oh no, maybe go to Washington D.C. and find out where his wife and mother-in-law are staying. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you don't like me saying that? Too bad. I don't care. When he addresses that, and when his wife is basically put in freaking jail for, being part of that shit, however a little bit, then maybe I'll stop saying it. Or I'll just laugh at Jericho for picking a goddamn stupid twat wife along with his stupid twat views. Hopefully the kids grow up to be smarter than them. So, they're going to have a 6-man next week. Okay. Hooks, we talk about Hooks' package. Stop thinking about it, you know who you are. Shivani interviews Jade and Sterling. They're in the baddie section. A baddie section is a woman that has confidence in her looks and everything, and that's great. You should have confidence. You should feel yourself. Not in public, because that's kind of bad. This is getting weird. But be happy with yourself. Oh, and Tony cut the shit, so why did she keep talking? Why did this segment still go? Jade has a great look. Jade isn't bad on promos. Jade is bad in the ring. And it's not getting much better. So yeah, cut the shit. Please, stop. Don't do this anymore. Oh yeah, Shafir is the problem? Well, I'm the problem solver. Ooh, God, jeez. I think my brain almost melted from how creative that was. So anyway, Spears and MJF knock Wardlow, and then MJF versus Shawn Dean next week. And he mentions how he's going to get a Purple Heart because he's going to beat him worse than he ever could have been hurt on the battlefield. Ouch. Still not as good as the Jesus thing that he said. And then the Bunny comes down with Butcher and the Blade. And then the Bunny leaves, so then the match becomes instantly less appealing. The Hardys versus Butcher and the Blade in a tables match. You must be hurled through the table by an offensive maneuver to be eliminated. And then when you're eliminated, you have to go to the back, right? No. Now, yeah, they did that in the Dudleys match. The Dudleys and Hardys match at Royal Rumble 2000. They done it in others. Good fucking grief. There was one between Evolution and I want to say all three of the Dudleys, Spike, Bubba, and Devon. And I want to say that Bubba was 3-on-1 because everybody else was taken out and taken to the back. And they could have done that, but they didn't do that. The crowd loved the Hardys. And there were about 18 million tables under the ring. And the Hardys cannot move anymore. The Hardys need to retire about 2 years ago. Neither Hardy can go anymore. At all. This is actually pathetic. This is ridiculous. Jeff was put through a flat table. I don't know how that counted as elimination, but they rolled with it. And then Matt Leg drops the Butcher through the table. The Butcher's bleeding from his shoulder. We get chairs out. Oh, look. The Blade is bleeding. We get a ladder all of a sudden. I'm shocked. The Hardys have tables and ladders and chairs. Oh, my. And then Jeff puts Blade through, jumps off of the ladder and lands on Blade flush through a table. And even though Jeff was eliminated, that counts as an elimination. I do not care about the Hardys being in AEW. It was a cool initial pop. And now the fans are realizing, or at least some are, they can't move. And I'm not saying write everybody off when they reach a certain age, but it's about mileage. if they can't go anymore, fuck. Tony Khan, yeah, he'll get money back in merch. This just is, it's going to end up being a wasted opportunity. You could have done something big with the Hardys, and yeah, they're feuding with the Andrade family orifice. Speaking of, they show up. They took about 14 years to get to the goddamn ring, and then here's Sting! And he hits Private Party with a bat, and then was going to hit Andrade with the bat. Darby was taken out by Andrade. And he put the bunny in the way, and the bunny was just laughing because she's like, ha, I've taken bigger than that. Anyway, Jurassic Express, they see how upset Christian Cage is. He's going to cuss from the tag titles next week. And they challenge Rim Dragon. Dragons and Dinosaurs. It was an actual line on a wrestling broadcast. So we get Nyla Rose and Thunder Rosa packages. Why Vicky Guerrero still exists on a wrestling program in 2022, I don't know. I'm not even talking about the comments she made a couple weeks ago. I'm not even talking about that. She just isn't any good. Battle of the Belts too. Shivani interviews Jamie and Tony, who might meet in the tournament. And if they meet in the tournament, I will not be fine at all. I don't think anybody will. And then Hikaru Shida and Julia Hart make their entrances. A Japanese woman making a dirty blonde cheerleader take her stick and take it face first. I've seen this movie before, but always delete your search history. Julaa Hart against Hikaru Shida. Still want Shida to cane me in the face. Owen Hart qualifier, by the way. Julia Hart was showing a bit more aggression and heel tactics, and she has black stuff around her eye patch. So if the transformation's almost complete, I guess she had to reach a certain age or whatever, so that stuff would happen. When you're younger, I guess it takes a while for injuries to really take hold, or conditions to take hold. She yells at Pillman and Griff to go to the back. Go, leave, get out of here. Go back, change your hair, but first, mull it over. So anyway, she hits a split leg drop at one point for 2, and then we get, the usual stuff from Shida, who's a pretty good wrestler, and Julia's improved. Falcon Arrow does the deal. 1, 2, 3. Hey, somebody didn't kick out of the Falcon Arrow. And then Deeb shows up, or her music hits, and then she tries to attack Shida with a chair, but Shida, not being one of the women that Serena Skrull can take advantage of, Shida's aware of this, and they face off with cane and chair in hands. And then Deeb's like, yeah, okay, sure, I'll just leave. Yeah, I know, Serena. It's unfortunate when you can't take advantage of somebody like Marty did. I'm going to keep saying that until she either divorces him or, I don't know, freaking spontaneously combusts. I don't really care. You can date whoever the fuck you want, but if you date somebody that is a known creep and you know they're a creep and you won't address it, you deserve to get as much ridicule as they do. So, Marvez interviews Swerve, who's at the Grammys, apparently. Good for Swerve. I like Swerve. And about Starks and Hobbs. And then he goes into a locker room, and then Starks and Hobbs immediately show up from literally 10 feet away. And then Marvez tells the camera, go, and so they start beating him up, and then Lee comes in, and we have a big old fracas, and then he launches Hobbs through a breakaway wall, which looked cool. What part of the locker room was that, and how would they have been able to get out? That literally looked like a breakaway wall. But, hey, whatever, it's a cool visual. Rampage, Moxley versus Wheeler, Bryan versus Trent. I expect Danhausen to show up, and I expect one of my friends to not like it. Red Velvet versus Willow Nightingale, and an Owen qualifier, and QT versus Swerve. Oh, my poor Swerve, I'm sorry. Battle of the Belts, Rosa versus Nyla, and Rampage, a live Rampage in 2 weeks. Cole versus Paige, Texas Death Match. And Dynamite, Eddie, Santana, Ortiz versus Jericho, Bland, Hager, and Garcia, and Jurassic Express versus Rim Dragon on the, for the AEW tag titles. Get Cutler the fuck out of here is what I wrote down. FTR gets a pop, FTR chants. Bobby Cruz, the Ring of Honor announcer, does the intros. FTR versus the Bucks, Ring of Honor, and AAA Tag Team Championship match. And when FTR were allowed to wrestle and show the fact that they are one of, if not the best tag team in the world, I'd say them and Guerrillas of Destiny, in my personal opinion, are the 2 tag teams that I most enjoy watching. But whenever the Bucks wrestle, because they're just gymnasts, they're not wrestlers, and I don't care if somebody wants to get upset about that. The same as it ever was, and the same as it ever was. But FTR got a lot of goddamn, big pops here. And FTR are a real tag team. The Bucks, The Bucks have had a few matches that I've really enjoyed, and other than that, I've pretty much hated everything they've done. And the stupid cold spray stuff, it's not funny, okay? It's not funny. Oh, people are like, it's funny in BTE. That's fine. You like BTE, that's cool. I don't. I don't mind lowbrow humor. That ain't good. So the Bucks get to move spamming and stuff like that. This wasn't bad. I will say that. And it didn't go as long as the pay-per-view match. I expect them to give them about 35 to 40 minutes. And they only gave them 22? But anyway. The referee, by the way, and look, Rick Knox, I'm sure is a nice guy. God damn, he is a terrible referee. He made one good call on this, and that's like been the one good call he's made in the entire run that he's had in AEW. At one point, there's a ref distraction and a low blow. And then the big buck rig, 1, 2, 3. And then FTR hits a couple moves. There was a belt shot, by the way. Clear view of the referee, but again, Rick Knox is a real bad referee. And 1, 2, but that pin gets broken up. BT trigger, but a foot on the ropes, so oh no, the match gets restarted. So the Bucks can complain that their handpicked referee didn't do their job. BT trigger, kiss, big rig, 1, 2, 3. And FTR win in a match that was pretty decent. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not going to put this on my favorite matches of the year list. But whatever. FTR celebrates, and they win. So there we go. Now we go to the bonus match for Supercard of Honor. This is not going to take very long, but I'm going to give you the highlights. Briscoes versus FTR for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. The Briscoes get a good pop. I was furnished a way to watch this. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to say how because I don't want to get the person in trouble. Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman are a great commentary team. Had a big fight feel. There were holy shit chants before and when the bell hit. That's how you know that somebody bought into it. I have my own issues with the Briscoes. I don't really think that the Briscoes are one of the best tag teams in the world. Even putting personal feelings aside, the Briscoes are a good team. I don't think they're a great team, but I also am not, entrenched in the Ring of Honor lore. That being said, if people really like the Briscoes and think the Briscoes are one of the best tag teams in the world, good for you guys. No handshake, no code of honor. Oh no. Well, you would expect that because FTR were going to work as heels here. Nice wrestling to start. And then things, tempers flare a little bit. A chair gets thrown in, the referee caught it. Good stuff right there. I believe it's Paul Turner as a referee. And then they slam Jay into the underside of a table, just boomeranging him. And man, he just gets cut. He's bleeding like crazy. They focus on the cut. They're beating him up a bit. Eventually, Mark gets tagged in, and the big moves come out. We get the redneck boogie, which actually is pretty good how Ian calls that. And that just gets a 2 count. We get a powerbomb and a splash 1, 2. And then Briscoes hit their own big rig. The Briscoes look like they're going to get this shit. They're going to get this victory. But no, just a 2 count right there. And then a spill outside and the officials check on them. They take their time with this. This was good stuff. And Mark is bleeding also. And he even ends up hitting a corkscrew. That was pretty damn good. I mean, he almost brained himself. Thankfully, he didn't. And then Froggy Bow, 1, 2. Oh no, it's just for 2. And then we get the big rig, 1, 2, 3. New champions of Ring of Honor. New tag champions, that is, FTR. And then we get the hug afterwards. This was a good match. I encourage you guys to check this out if you find a way to, check this match out. It's really, really good. Very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. I don't know if it's going to be on my favorite matches of the year list, but I will say that it was quite good. The reason I didn't watch Supercard of Honor is I was so overloaded already with work and watching other wrestling. And also at the time, I wasn't going to spend an extra $30. Not that the talents don't deserve it. That's just how it went. If Ring of Honor does other pay-per-views, coming up, and I'm able to do more of this, or I'm able to watch them, then maybe I will. But that being said, it was what it was. Pretty good match. Bucks show up and they attack the Briscoes. FTR run down, and that basically sets up this match that we saw at the end of Dynamite. So there you go. there's a review of a Ring of Honor match, and that's probably one of the only things for Ring of Honor I'll end up reviewing anytime soon, because of time. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.